Job's not finished. Job finished? No, I don't think so.
You know, there'll be times where you succeed and there are times that you fail. So wasting your time doubting whether you're going to be successful or not is pointless. You just put one foot in front of the other, you control what you can't control, and then you see what the outcome is. Right?
So you have to dance beautifully in the box that you are comfortable dancing in. So like everybody's box is different. My box was to be extremely ambitious within the sport of basketball. Your box is different than mine.
You know, as a leader, you gotta be able to take the good with the bad, man. You can't just, because the ship's sinking, all of a sudden I'm gonna jump off and swim to another ship like that. You don't do that, right? You can win championships in front of everybody, then you could miss the playoffs in front of everybody.
You know, what I try to do is just try to be still and understand that things come and go, emotions come and go. The important thing is to accept them all, to embrace them all, and then you can choose to do with them what you want versus being controlled by emotion.
It's, you know, that's the trick, isn't it? It's finding what you love to do. I mean, we talk about hard work all the time. It's like, you know, man, if you got to get up every single morning and remind yourself how hard you need to work, you probably need to choose a different profession, because that shouldn't be there. I wake up in the morning excited to get to it. You know, if you have that feeling, then you are truly doing what God has put you on this earth to do.
Great. As parents, you got to lead by example. If you want your kids to do whatever it is they want to accomplish in life, you have to show them. You can't. You got to show them.
I think the greatest fear you face is yourself, because you know we all have dreams, and it's very scary sometimes to accept the dream that you have, and it's scarier still to say, okay, I want that. It's scary because you're afraid that if you put your heart and soul into it and you fail, then how are you going to feel about yourself, right? So being fearless means putting yourself out there and going for it. No matter what, go for it. Not for anybody else, but for yourself. And if you have done that, then you have lived a successful life. You have lived with Mamba Mentality.
Negative things and just refocusing them, right? So it didn't linger, it didn't, you know, I used those things to help me get up at 4 a.m. and hit the track, and then hit the weights, and then get the shots. Like, I use that as a source of motivation for me. When you have the point of view that no matter what is said, it's going to do nothing but fuel my passion, then you really, there's nothing anybody can say that's really going to take you backwards. You know what I mean? You know, basketball for me is the most important thing. So everything I saw, whether it was TV shows, whether it was books I read, people I talked to, everything was done to try to learn how to become a better basketball player. Everything. And so when you have that point of view, then literally the world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft. And I really want athletes to understand this, is that you really have to work hard to figure out what comes next. Like, for some of us, like, we were born and basketball was here. Like, I started playing basketball when I was 2. You know, and for a lot of us, it's really easy, that first phase, but it's really, really hard to find something else that you love just as much or more so, right? And that's really the key. It's not keeping yourself busy. It's like you have to figure out what it is that you really want to do. Like, wake up in the morning and say, yo, I'm excited to go do this. What is that?
If your job is to try to be the best basketball player you can be, right? To do that, you have to practice, you have to train, right? You want to train as much as you can, as often as you can. So if you get up at 10 in the morning, train at 12, train for 2 hours, 12 to 2, you have to let your body recover. So you eat, recover, whatever. You get back out, you train, start training again at 6. Train from 6 to 8, right? And now you go home, you shower, you eat dinner, you go to bed, you wake up, you do it again, right? Those are 2 sessions. Right? Now imagine you wake up at 3, you train at 4. You go 4 to 6, come home, breakfast, relax, blah, blah, blah. Now you're back at it again, 9 to 11, right? You relax, and now all of a sudden you're back at it again, 2 to 4, and now you're back at it again, 7 to 9. Look how much more training I have done by simply starting at 4, right? And so now you do that, and as the years go on, the separation that you have with your competitors and your peers just grows larger and larger and larger and larger and larger. And by year 5 or 6, doesn't matter what kind of work they do in the summer, they're never going to catch up.
I think that if we focus on one thing and do that one thing exceptionally well, we won't fail at that one thing. So sometimes you got to put the other stuff to bed and focus on what you believe is the core of the company, and that always starts from what you love to do the most.
A very simple one, and the Mamba mentality simply means trying to be the best version of yourself. That's what the mentality means. It means every day, you're trying to become better. And that life has this cyclical nature where it's, what you do on Monday is fantastic, but then Tuesday is a bad day. But guess what? There's Wednesday. Yeah. So are we just supposed to live our lives like this the whole time? Versus just staying like this and understanding that it's really just a journey of evolution. Every day is just constant improvement, constant curiosity, constantly getting better. The results don't really matter. It's the figuring out that matters.
Yeah. Emotionally, to be able to put myself in a place where at practice or when I'm training or during games, I switch my mind to something else, right? For me, it's the equivalent of Maximus, Decimus, Meridius, and Gladiator picking up the dirt, smelling the dirt. It's go time, right? So that was my mental switch. You gotta put yourself in that cage. Right? But when I'm in that cage, bro, don't fucking touch me. Don't talk to me. Just leave me alone.